DNVR Broncos live, coming to you from the DNVR Bar on the corner of Colfax and York on another beautiful day in the Mile High City. Henry, you look upset.
No, well, I'm happy now because Yahir said you stink, and he didn't think there was enough time for me to say anything back before we started, but I was able to say you stink. But other than that, yeah, when I went golfing, I guess I got a bunch of mosquito bites.
Oh, tough.
There's everywhere. I got toothpaste in my eye again. The mosquito bites just suck. The mosquito bites are terrible.
I'm bite free so far.
Did you ever do the exonym where you dig your nail?
Yeah, that doesn't work.
Into that? Oh, works for me.
Will you do mine for me?
I'm not doing yours for you. No way. Not
You're just
digging my fingernails
falling
into
victim
you.
to the placebo effect.
It works for me. If
Really?
it works, is it placebo?
The mosquitoes were out when I was
Pain is like
golfing.
99% mental.
But it
Itching,
is
mental
itching
as well.
Pain?
It's all just like, you don't even realize you have that mosquito bite until you touch it, and then it starts itching.
I don't know. I've specifically not touched mine. I woke up this morning and they were just on fire.
Well, now you have a computer that's going to make them on fire, too.
Yeah, I'm wearing my socks super tall so that they cover them all up. Well, most of them up. But yeah, when I was golfing, like I just looked down at one point and there was just blood on my ankle, and I was like, "What's going on?" I was like, "Oh, there's a mosquito right there," and so I hit it.
Wow.
It was that bad. We need to end mosquitoes. Like they legitimately do nothing to help.
I think we've been trying to end them for a long time.
They probably do something.
No, they literally don't. It's like a whole big thing where it's like bats. It's like 1% of what bats eat, and that's the best thing they do. They literally don't do anything.
This feels like something in like a dystopian movie where they're like, we're going to zap all the mosquitoes. Like, everyone stay inside. We're going to send one big shockwave around the world. And then, like, something goes terribly wrong.
I'm down to try it.
Because 4 mosquitoes are inside, so they survive.
And then they breed.
You know? Yeah, and then they breed, and then it's a whole thing again.
Did you know that
Probably wouldn't be
half of all of the people who have ever lived were killed by a mosquito?
That can't be true.
No, it's true.
Because there was some crazy disease.
Well, there's just been so many diseases. Like for all of human history, like mosquitoes have just been killing people.
Yeah, I don't believe that. No.
It's going to be a no
sorry.
for me.
Yeah,
No, it's
not believing it.
Yes,
You
it's
hear?
true.
Fact check Henry on that, please.
Please.
We need an ombudsman
Half of the people who have
forget what that
ever
means again.
died
fact checker.
That's
have
right.
died from a mosquito.
Yeah, it just can't be.
Yeah, that
I think because in the past there were more. Like now we're down to like 2 million a year or something.
But
like,
now we're up to so many billions of people now.
Yeah.
That maybe at one point in like 2000 BC, that was the case.
Oh,
But
I bet it
now
was
there's
like
just so
70.
many more people. 70 BC?
no 70% back then.
Oh, potentially.
You guys are gonna hate this, but Hank is actually right.
All right.
No.
Yes, yes.
So,
Based on what source?
based on Vox, who got it from NASA, who got it from all this other resources
How about
and stuff like
NASA?
that.
Why is
NASA doing?
NASA doing anything about this?
You think I'm the one writing this article? I don't know why they had anything to do with
I
it.
promise
it
you here
sounds
doesn't
like
want
we
me to be
need
right.
we need a better sources
Okay,
here.
keep going. You'll keep
Second
finding it.
source.
And
Right.
from Timothy C. Wingard.
Ooh,
Oh,
he
well
sounds
then we
smart.
know it's true.
Oh, yeah, he actually does sound smart. Yeah. So
Yeah.
Henry's not doing okay. Ryan, I'm wondering if you're doing okay because you have orange juice on the set.
It's not orange juice.
It's a smoothie?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So is that breakfast?
This thing is such a banger, dude.
Just typically, it's coffee typically.
Yeah. Been waking up early lately, so I get my coffee in before I leave the house. Even had time to stop by the old smoothie shop today.
Wow.
It's like mango, pineapple, banana, orange.
Huh.
I think banana is the key to smoothies.
Yeah, that's just the perfect
Me
place
too.
for a smoothie. Because like banana juice, you're like, well, that doesn't make sense because it doesn't make a liquid.
No.
Like it's just such a weird consistency that there's only a few things where it really fits. Smoothie,
Yep.
top of the list.
Really good point.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
Also
then,
bread somehow.
Oh yeah, if you
Banana
put it on.
bread.
In bread.
It's true.
But also on the bread. Like if you want like
Oh, yeah.
peanut butter banana sandwich,
Yeah.
another
A little
classic.
drizzle of honey.
Yep. Man, sounds good.
nice.
It does sound
Sounds
good.
really good.
But yeah, I'm doing great.
Good.
Henry, are you growing a playoff beard?
No, I'm going to the barber today.
Okay.
And so that means like for a week before, it's just like I'm not, because sometimes you try to
is
fix your
long.
beard and so it just like cuts up a little bit. And you're like, oh, well, I guess I've got bald spot. So I've taken the risk out. And it's
I
just
don't
like, I'm
think that
not.
happens to normal people.
Yeah. I've also, well, the other thing is like I moved my part up like a few months ago and hated it. And so I've just been like slowly growing this part of my hair out because like this is supposed to be the longest on my head. And so
Wow.
that's why I've just been wearing a hat every day. because it's just like, well, I have like this weird part that doesn't really fit anywhere. So today, I think next haircut's when everything's gonna kind of balance again.
Yeah,
That's
do
good.
you
I'm
have a
happy for
hat
you.
today? I kind of wish you'd put it on with that.
Wow, no, I have to
just
get it right
kidding.
so you can see
Something
it.
I would have
and cut
never
it.
noticed.
Wow,
Anyways,
this part,
The beard is long though.
it is really long.
Yeah.
we're
It's going
talking a
away
lot about
today.
appearance.
Yeah, we are.
By the way, I am
Oh.
growing out a playoff beard
Oh,
Oh.
when'd you start?
at the beginning of the playoffs.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
I just would have thought it might be a little longer.
No, I mean, I guess I started
I
growing
got
this
him.
beard like 8 years ago
That's true.
because I haven't ever shaved it all the way down.
Wow. So Allie's never seen it fully shaved.
She said she hasn't, but we knew each other during a time where I did clean shave it. I just don't
Okay.
know if we actually saw each other during that time.
Right. Fair.
So she could be right. When we first met, I had the biggest beard I've ever had,
How long?
like down to here.
Oh my God! Wow.
Wow.
Quick story: my ex-girlfriend wanted me to shave like every day, so she would complain about like the 5 o'clock shadow, and this was in a time where I like didn't have a beard, so you know I would try to do it, I guess, as much as I could. Not gonna do the everyday thing, but after we broke up, I was just like, fuck
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
I'm
yeah.
not shaving for a minute, so I just grew it all the way out.
And how long did it take to get it that far?
I don't remember, months.
Oh,
Yeah.
I bet.
3-4
I bet.
months.
Yeah.
So anyways, playoff beard going strong.
Yeah. It is. It is. I'm not growing a playoff beard.
That's
Yeah.
I had
notable.
assumed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's like what you've told Henry in the past. Do what works.
Yeah.
And so far they've been winning when I've been shaving.
right.
So continue to
True.
shave.
Keep it up.
Yep. Yep.
True.
Okay. Personal appearance, thing that we're talking about. Also a thing that people are talking about a lot with Russell Wilson.
Yeah. I thought we were gonna stick on the facial hair route and go Nathaniel Hackett's goatee.
Oh no. If I could just see our old friend Nathaniel Hackett, I would say.
Thin and long.
Anyways,
And scraggly.
it's kind of crazy how in certain scenarios it's so okay to talk about someone's personal appearance.
Yeah.
And in others, completely and utterly
Yep.
unacceptable.
Yep.
Like when we were at that baby shower.
Yes, this was something that Henry read.
Yeah. I was like starting up because I'd never been to a baby shower before.
Okay.
But you're not supposed to like touch somebody's stomach or comment on their
You
size.
should just never touch
Yeah.
someone.
Well, that's what I
No,
thought.
no,
but also,
no.
like, you don't give any advice. I was like, okay, I'm not giving any
correct.
advice.
Which
Yeah.
I disagreed with. Henry giving parenting advice would be hilarious.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Especially-
Hilarious.
Yes.
But not right.
Yeah, but still,
could
like,
be.
everyone would think that's funny, even the person that was receiving the advice.
Yeah. I don't know. How tough could
But
it
one
really
of the things
be?
was don't be like, wow, you're so big.
Right.
Exactly. Exactly. Just don't talk about that.
As you're touching the stomach.
Well, the crazy
God,
thing is, at
that was-
first, you show up and she's like,
Good way
oh,
to
good
get
to
hit.
see you, and tries to give you a hug. And it's like, well, I guess, boom, that's a sort of stomach touch
Oh.
You
right
can
there.
you
You
can touch
touched-
it that way.
Well,
It's
yeah.
Don't put your hand straight on the belly.
And I did not do that.
I just want this moment in time to be documented. I've been trying to get us on the rails, and they just won't allow it.
How did we get here? Russell Wilson looks good.
Russell Wilson looks good,
Yes.
and everyone wants to talk about it. So weird. But I guess, especially if a dude loses weight, fair game to talk about.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, "Oh, you look great, bro.
Yeah.
You've been losing weight. You've been dieting." So, I guess this is acceptable in all facets, but it is kind of weird, and it's also, I think, notable and important. Now, I will be the first to tell you that when Russell Wilson came in last year looking thick, I didn't think that was a problem. I thought he'll be fine. Doesn't really affect his arm. He might be able to take a few more hits, et cetera, et cetera. Didn't really help him from a taking hits standpoint, as he was injured multiple times throughout the season.
Yeah, more than ever before.
Better just
Right.
to be quick and avoid the hits. It
Yes,
turns out.
like Kyler Murray, he never gets. Well, he kind of gets hurt now.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, but
See him next year.
when he was coming in, the whole thing was like he never gets hurt because he never gets hit. Now I guess once you get to the NFL, you just can't really
Yeah.
avoid the hits. Anyways, what does it mean? Like your Russell Wilson meter, your rideometer, if you will, on a scale of 1 to 10, that was 1 to 5. How many notches does Russell Wilson looking very in shape move your confidence up?
I'm excited. I'm very excited. That was one of the big, because again, at the time you see him, you're like, oh, it's not really that big of a deal. Like, sure, he's been like a top 3 running quarterback in the NFL for 75% of the seasons he's played in the NFL.
In like the history of the NFL, he's like a top 5 rushing.
Probably.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah,
He is,
probably.
yeah.
And so, like, that you're losing some of that, but also, you also know that you're getting an old quarterback, and old quarterbacks aren't going to run so much. And so maybe you do play for that. Obviously didn't work though, and you just need him to be a little bit quicker. Like, there were times where it looked like if he just had one more step, he could have extended a play. And I almost think it's more the quick twitch stuff than just like the pure long speed. But more than anything, it just shows where he's at mentally. Or it's just like, I am putting in this much work every day, and it just shows. Like, it's just a way to show that he really cares. He's really working hard. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But at least we know for a fact he's trying.
I actually kind of fully disagree with Henry's reasoning for this, but not that I don't feel better about him, because I certainly do. And the number one thing why I feel better about Russell Wilson is Sean Payton. But then also I am encouraged by Russell Wilson looking like this. But Henry said a big reason for him is he's putting in the work, he cares. That's never been a concern for me. I think Russell Wilson has always cared, always been the hardest worker in the building, always put in all the work. And I think he did that last year. It just wasn't the best work. He intentionally tried to beef up last year. And Nathaniel Hackett and Russell Wilson got on the same page with, let's make Russ a pocket passer so that he can play that 10 to 12 more years, so that he can have that longevity to be that guy. They didn't want him to win from running the ball. In fact, Nathaniel Hackett said he's going to win from the pocket, and then he's going to go to his second read, then his third read, then his fourth read, and then maybe he'll run. Whereas in Seattle, what was it? Hit read 1, then run, hit read 2, and then run? I mean, there wasn't much about reading 3rd and 4th and 5th reads and then running. And so I think why I'm so encouraged by this is that was a complete failure last year with having Russell Wilson win from the pocket. And we saw it at the very end of the year when Justin Outen took over and said, we're actually just going to do what you did well in Seattle, and we're going to put you on the move a lot. We're going to actually draw up designed runs to let you run. And now I think he's going to be even more effective with that. And I think something that Sean Payton's going to do is just work to Russell Wilson's strengths. I don't think Sean Payton gives a crap if Russell Wilson plays 10 to 12 more years. He's not going to try to make his play style so that he can play for another decade. I think Sean Payton says, I got to fix you right now, or you're not going to be my quarterback. So if that means getting the best play out of you for only 3 years, but we do wear your body down, unfortunately for us, I don't think Sean cares. And so I do think that this is going to mean that Russ is going to be more of a running quarterback than he has been the past 2 years. The past 2 years, 183 rushing yards his final year with Seattle, 277 rushing yards last year. Those both by far the lowest in his career. I believe in the first 10 or 9 season in his career, he averaged 500 rushing yards in the first 9 seasons. These past 2 years, he's averaged 200. I'm not saying he's going to get back up to 500, the average, or even above that, but I think we're going to be looking at a lot more design runs, and Russ is going to rush and eclipse those numbers from the past 2 years.
I like that, and I hope that's the truth. I'll believe it when I see it, for sure. For me, what is most encouraging about this is kind of along the lines of what Henry said, but if there was one thing that made me confident that Russell Wilson was going to get back, it was Russell Wilson's mind. He is a relentless competitor, a guy who has always had a reputation for putting in the work. He's the one organizing camps at his house for the wide receivers to come train. Like, he is a worker. And that's why I actually believe the kind of narrative out there that he, for lack of a better term, thickened up on purpose. Like, I don't think it's hard for Russell Wilson to stay thin and eat right and work out and do all those things. Like, I think he likes doing all that stuff. But for whatever reason, he was on the bigger side last year. He comes in this year, and to me, it's like, I'm not letting this happen again. I refuse to be the laughingstock of the NFL again. I'll do whatever it takes. And so I like seeing him, really own this, really take every step he can to say, what can I do to feel younger, to feel faster, to feel more spry? and also, be the best quarterback he can be. The one part that I guess concerns me, which has nothing to do with his physical attributes, is can he learn the Sean Payton offense? If there was one thing that shocked me the most, and we've talked about it quite a bit, is like I just assumed 10-year NFL vet who was the winningest quarterback through 10 years in his career was going to come in and be like a very savvy quarterback. And I was just waiting for him to get up to the line and see a weak front, audible into a run out of the shotgun, convert an easy 2nd and 3 or whatever, and it never came. To me, that means he didn't entirely pick up the Nathaniel Hackett offense.
Yeah.
And, when Justin Outten took over, they kind of dumbed things down a little bit. And so that's my concern. I love that Russ is kind of taking this on from a physical standpoint, and I have full confidence in him to put in that type of work. I also have full confidence in him to put in the work that he needs to learn the playbook, but it concerns me that it didn't click for him last year. So what's going to click about this offense better? Hopefully it does. Hopefully Sean Payton is better at teaching it. You would assume he is than Nathaniel Hackett, but that's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah. And just the idea that they would try to turn him into a pocket passer is so stupid. Like, that is so freaking stupid. Like, at the time, I think we all bought in because we're as excited about having him in the first place, but that is just not what he does. And it's so that's like having Derrick Henry and saying, you know what, run between the tackles, you might get old banged up. We're just going to use him as a receiving back.
Right.
Like, that's just absurd. Like, the point of Russell Wilson, the reason why he's special is because of his legs. Like, as a passer, yeah, he's, throughout his career, he probably averaged 7th in the league, maybe in passer rating, just looking quickly. That's solid. But what made him really special was that he consistently finished in the top 3 rushing yards. And if you're just going to take that away, then what's the point of paying him so much money and giving up all that to get him when you're just going to get like a good but nothing special quarterback?
Right. Yeah, no, exactly. And that's why. And what's interesting is I do believe Sean Payton's going to cater this offense to Russell Wilson for this year and try to play to his strengths. But Sean Payton has really only had a really good pocket passing quarterback. Drew Brees never ran. That was never his strength, so Sean Payton never had to draw that up for him. I would be surprised if Sean tries to just put him in the Drew Brees mold, but that's what Sean Payton has worked with in the past. That doesn't really concern me, but it is something in the back of my head. Like, that's how Sean Payton has won with his offense, is just with a pure pocket passer. You can't do that now.
Yeah, it's weird because our Sean Payton sample is so undiverse. I guess.
Yeah.
You have 15 years of Drew Brees and 1 year of Jameis Winston.
Yeah, it'd be 14 for him since he missed 1 year, and then one of Jameis.
True.
That is not enough. And I think what we would have to look at is how much did he change the offense for Jameis, or did he expect Jameis to play the Drew Brees role? I don't know the answer to that. Do you?
I'm pretty sure. Well, Sean Payton said that the difference is when you have a Drew Brees, you just get to ask him to do a lot. Like, I guess on every play, there's however much that needs to happen mentally. Like, you need to do whatever. And when you have Drew Brees, you can say, okay, if you get this look, you do this. If you get this look, you run this play. And you can just put all of that on him, where now you can't do that. And it means that you have to, like, maybe you call more plays where you can say, like, this will work against man or zone, for example. You're not saying get up here and check to this or that. And so it just changes how much responsibility you can give him. Right. And that just has to be made up somewhere else, either by the coaches or whatever. And I don't know, like, it's not easy. It's going to be a big change.
Yeah, it is. And I'm so excited to find out what Sean Payton's plan is.
Yeah, me too. And specifically in training camp, when we actually get to report what his plan is and what that's looking like. And you know what training camp season is? It's grilling season. And we're getting into that season right now. And if you want the best food to grill, check out our friends over at Omaha Steak, where they have everything that you need for the grill, but also they have so many things. They have bacon wrap filet mignons. Ooh. They have gourmet grillables like the air-chilled boneless chicken breast, burgers, jumbo franks, and many more, including they also have dessert. How about a caramel apple tartlet and then their sides are to die for. They have the best twice-baked potatoes.
Ooh.
They also have Brussels sprouts. I mean, the array that they have
Potatoes
is
au gratin?
incredible. Yes, the potatoes au gratin
Ooh,
is
slap.
insane as well. And they're kind of like the OG food delivery service where they bring the food to you, shows up in a great package with, the ice that keeps
Dry
it cold.
ice?
Dry ice that keeps it cold.
think that's what it
Exactly.
is.
And it is so delicious, and we've got a code for you. If you use the code DNVR Broncos, they're going to give you $30 off your order going to omahasteaks.com and use that code DNVR Broncos. Whether you want to get this as a gift for Father's Day, a father-in-law, father figure in your life, or if you just want it for the summer months coming up, you can go get dad or yourself what they really want and use that code DNVR Broncos for $30 off over at omahasteaks.com.
Hell yeah.
And you can also get some sunglasses with Shady Rays. I've got mine
There we go.
right here. Those are them. I haven't lost them. How long have we had these? It's been quite a while now.
Yeah, many months.
Many months. Yeah, so I'm not sure how many of us have lost them, but I definitely haven't. But-
I'm not willing to declare mine lost.
They're
Oh,
Misplaced.
Yeah, they're lost.
I would. You guys want to make a bet?
No, because you can lose something and then find it again.
Or you can also misplace something and then find it again.
Yeah, but that's why I'm not going to make the bet because you might find them. Or you
I
may
would
be
say the
trying
difference
to
between
bait
lost
me.
and misplaced is whether or not they're in your house.
What if they're in your car?
Then I would still say not lost.
So you
Yeah.
would say, so misplaced. I mean, that's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
Misplaced, they're not where I'm used to placing them, so I can't find them.
At what point?
Lost, I brought them somewhere and left them there, and they could return to me.
At what point of misplacing them in your house or car do they go from misplaced to lost?
It's kind of like a missing persons case, you know. Like you got to if you send out a search party and they look for a couple weeks and they don't find them, now they're lost.
So you haven't searched for them?
I haven't when I realize I need my sunglasses was when I'm running out the door.
Yeah.
So then I'm like, shit, where are they? Da-da-da-da-da. Okay, I don't have them.
And then you
Exactly.
get home and you're like, I'll deal with that tomorrow. I'll find them.
I just
I'll
don't
find
think
them right
about it
before I
again
leave.
until the next time I'm leaving the house when it's sunny out.
If you lose your sunglasses, though, then you can get them replaced from Shady Rays for free. If you lose them, if you break them, or if it's the first 30 days and you just want a
more-
different pair.
It's actually beneficial for them to be lost and not misplaced.
It's very true. You're
Get
right.
new ones.
Yep.
Or, I mean, you could just say you lost them.
Well, don't do that.
Don't do that, but you could. But don't. So Shady Rays, they're awesome sunglasses. They've got 5-star reviews from over 250,000 people. And if you use the code DNVR at shadyrays.com, you can get 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses. So go over to shadyrays.com, use the code DNVR, and get 50% off 2 or more pairs of polarized sunglasses.
Anything else on the Russell Wilson conversation?
Please be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Please be good. Biggie Bronco says, when is Russell Wilson going to put on his camp like he did last year? Are they going to wait until after training camp for the Broncos? No, they certainly won't wait until after. And I think what he's talking about is last year, 2 days after he signed, officially was traded to the Broncos, he put on a camp where he brought so many Broncos out to San Diego.
Yeah.
He has not done that yet.
Well,
Oh,
Sean Payton wants them to work in silence.
it's true.
So is it possible that he's done that and it was just done quietly?
No. Like, I mean, it is possible, but like 1% chance. Russ does still put some of his workouts online and stuff. And I have to imagine if 20 guys are at Russ's facility, someone's putting it out there. A player,
Unless there was
a reporter.
A mandate.
Potentially. I just don't think that's the case. Do you? It could
60-40
be.
now.
Oh, 60-40. And I think that is Sean Payton, though. Not telling Russ not to do it, but saying, let me do this. Let me kind of guide this football team right now.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's going to happen.
Okay? During the
Yep.
summer months.
Yeah. I think between OTAs and training camp just makes sense.
And that is when Russ had done it typically in the past with Seattle, so that wouldn't surprise me.
Well, it makes sense because they're like installing their offense right now.
Right.
Like it'd be tough to go out there and say like, "Hey, we've all kind of been reading this stuff on our own. Let's go do what we think." Like now they kind of
That's what
know
they did
how it
last
all works.
year.
Yeah, and hopefully he learned from that.
I don't think that the workouts had any negative impact on last season.
No, certainly not any net. I mean, that can only be positive, right?
Yeah.
As long as nobody gets hurt.
This is like one of those things where I would hope Sean Payton isn't telling Russ not to do this, because I think at that point you've lost the plot.
Sure, I think that's very fair, but I could see Sean Payton saying, let me install the offense over these next few months, and then you can go do your thing. Instead of you guys trying to install this, like Hank said, work the playbook before we even get to do it together.
Yeah.
You
And
don't
like you're
even
out
have
there
to
saying
do,
like, when you run this post, like, I just want you to take it a little bit flatter if you see this. And then you get in and Sean's just like, no, that's not what we're doing here. Like that's where it could just be tough.
I mean, that's where you just have to be on the same page. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know. It doesn't seem like it's that hard. Like, FaceTime Sean Payton and be like, hey, how are we supposed to run this post?
Yeah, and I mean that's why I'm a little surprised it hasn't happened, because you can always do it multiple times. But I do expect it to happen this summer. Has not happened yet, and it definitely won't happen once they've started training camp.
Is Russ still employing his personal QB coach? That's what DAL wants to know.
Not in the building. I believe he still has his team outside of the building, though.
That stuff is always so crazy. Like, I don't know. Sometimes it makes sense. But, like, his quarterback's coach, not to just straight up bash him, but he's just, like, I think he played at, like, an FCS or maybe, like...
Washington State?
Was it Washington State? It was
That's
something
what
like
sticks out
that.
to me.
But, like, never in the NFL. Like, he's only, like, 26 or something.
He was in the NFL.
Was he?
He was Russ's backup.
What's his name?
I believe.
Not Lonergan.
Oh, man. Why can't I think of it off the top of my head?
That would be Jake
Jake Heaps. Yep.
I think I got that fastest, and you guys both had laptops.
Oh, he did. I think
Jets 2015, Seahawks 2016.
Right.
Yeah.
Seahawks 2017 after a short stint with the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
But
To
never
be fair,
on a roster.
I don't think that's a fair thing to poke at Jake,
No.
because I believe there's a lot of coaches, including Sean Payton, that like played in college and then didn't do anything in the NFL, but are great coaches, including the Broncos quarterback coach right now, Davis Webb.
Yep.
He was kind of a backup for just a few years, kind of like Jake Heaps.
But,
probably
I mean,
played a little bit more, but still,
yes.
that just
He was
because
on the
you don't
roster.
play or you're not good does not mean that like doesn't mean you know what to do.
the
But
old
just so
coach.
weird hiring like a 26-year-old when you're Russell Wilson. He's 31 now, but back when they started, like
Yeah.
that just is crazy to me.
It is crazy, but it does work, and it's kind of like the opposite effect of like Tiger Woods saying like I'm not good at teaching people golf because I just do things, and I don't know how to tell people how to do them.
Right.
And it's also similar to like the best managers in baseball usually come from like backup catchers.
Right.
It's for whatever reason, maybe you didn't have the talent, but you had the eye for it. You had you understood it. You just didn't have the body to be able to execute it as well as a Russell Wilson.
Right. And that's why I don't hold that against him. And maybe Russ will realize, like, well, if I can't bring him into the building, then it's really not worth it for me if I'm just spending, an hour each night with him. And then plus he also doesn't know what's going on. So maybe that will change. And I don't think that would be the worst thing in the world. But it is what's interesting about it is, especially when he's not in the building, there would just be such a different dynamic between what he's hearing in the building and what he's hearing outside of the building.
That's why I think Shedeur Sanders has his own personal QB coach who like comes to practices and stuff, similar to what Russ has. And I'm just like, this can really work as long as the QB coach and the QB coach on the team are on the same page, you know, and they're willing to work together. I assume Sean Lewis, who is the Buffs offensive coordinator and their quarterbacks coach, is willing to talk to his, personal QB coach and be like, hey, this is how I want him to do this stuff, just so you know. And maybe willing to take feedback. Hey, Shedeur, I've been working with him for 10 years. He prefers to do things this way.
Right. Yeah, and honestly, what should happen is there should be maybe just Russ's guy or Shedeur's guy is just an assistant quarterback coach or something like that. One, paid by the team then the quarterback doesn't have to pay him.
Yeah.
And then two, they're not just in the building, but welcome in the building, and that would just make a lot more sense.
Because they have a quarterback's coach.
Right.
Like he's right there for you. It is weird, but there's also probably stuff like how much you can be in contact with them, and if you want to go
That's
work
true.
on the field in the offseason, do that sort of stuff.
Yeah. No, that's a good point, and that's a reason to pay him yourself instead of the team paying him. So that's a very fair point.
All right.
Shall we move on?
Yes.
Sure.
Let's play a little game.
We have no idea what this game is.
Let's play a little game. It's called Take It or Leave It. And this is something
I think I know how this game works.
would you like to explain it to us? I want you to explain it to us.
So you're given a prompt.
Okay.
And then you have to decide if you want to take that or leave it.
Oh, you're spot on.
Let's
Ding. And look at this dope graphic that Yahir made. I was like, get as creative with you want as it, but it just has to say it on the screen. And he's like, okay. So he put sweet graphic up.
And did you say and I want bricks to be heavily featured?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what bricks are. Is that just actually bricks?
Let's go back to the graphic.
There
brick
are
wall.
bricks.
Those are
I
So this is
love.
actually like a poster on a brick wall. There's even tape in there.
Oh,
that's what it looks like.
I'm thinking like a poster over a mural on a brick wall.
Yeah, kind of. That's kind of what I'm going for.
Did you make that mural on the brick wall? And then you took a picture of it and then turned it into a graphic?
It's Photoshop, man.
So
I
you
got
went
them
way
skills,
above
don't
and
worry.
beyond. Take back some of the credit there. But I do love exposed brick. So, yeah.
Everyone loves
knew.
exposed brick.
Yeah. We love it in this bar.
Yes.
Don't.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
Oh, are we thinking bricks are
Nope.
meaning something else? And
I
if you expose your
like-
brick, you could get in trouble, especially if you do it in a bar. So don't do that.
don't do that. Yeah.
Okay, so Brian, would you like to guess the first topic? Since you clearly know the game so well. Seriously.
Russell Wilson's fitness transformation. Take it or leave it.
No, not it at all. Let's get to the first one though. You hear? Jerry Jeudy, 1,010 receiving yards this year.
Is this the DraftKings line?
No, it's the Zac Stevens line.
Okay.
Yeah.
Zach Kings.
Yeah.
Take it.
You taking it?
I was gonna say over, but that wouldn't be the game.
Right. So
would not.
this is so if you take it, this is what he does in 2023. If you leave it, then you're gambling. He could do better, he could do worse.
What? So
Yeah.
if you take it, that means he's landing exactly on 10-10?
Exactly.
You just have
Yep.
it guaranteed for the season.
Yep, it's
or you can say
guaranteed.
like just go
This
play.
is what you're getting.
Oh, okay. Now
Wow. So
maybe
you
I
actually
didn't
did
understand.
not
the-
understand
you
the game.
explained the rules perfectly, but you didn't understand somehow.
I didn't understand the concept of what taking it meant.
Okay.
We take it.
So okay.
You just thought that was like the minimum and he could go over?
Yeah, it's just like take it. No, I thought it was like, do you think this is gonna happen?
Oh, no,
Yeah.
This is take it or leave it.
Okay.
You get
Yeah.
to guarantee 1,010 yards receiving for Jerry Jeudy. No more, no less.
Leave it.
Okay, Henry?
I also leave it.
Yeah, I have to leave this as well. If Jerry
Interesting.
Jeudy does this year, you'd feel fine about him. It would be a little underwhelming because this is kind of supposed to be like last year was supposed to be a breakout year. Got a little excuse for how bad the offense was. He also had some injuries. And if this is, you kind of feel like this is his ceiling. When he would, not his ceiling, but you'd feel like this is who he is because last year
Exactly.
just under 1,000. Now this year just over 1,000. And that's just not who we think Jerry Jeudy can be. We think Jerry Jeudy can be better than that. And also, for a couple of years, he's been on pace to have significantly more than 1,000 yards. Just injuries have held him back. So I'm leaving this easy.
Well, he
Right.
also said on the Brandon Marshall podcast, like he would have had 1,000, but some of those bubble screens just got counted as rushing yards. And what Brandon said was Larry Fitzgerald would always call the league. Like he'd call the league office and say like, go back and look at this. This is a reception, not a run. And was able to get a bunch of those flipped. And he was like, Jerry, call them and get that changed so you can have your 1,000-yard season. But the point is, he's right around there. How could you not expect improvement? Like he was 23. The offense should be way better this year. The only temptation I have to take it is just the injuries. Like it just means that he'd probably be close to fully healthy for the season if you take it, and it takes that risk out. But I'll leave it and see what happens.
Yeah, I agree, and I agree that you're just protecting yourself against injuries by taking that. And on that podcast, Jerry not only said that about not having a 1,000-yard season, but he said as a rookie, I had too many drops, and probably would have been able to get it outside of that. I thought Jerry was his head was in the right place during a 55-minute interview, which is pretty long with Brandon Marshall.
He could have had 1,000 yards against the Chargers that one game.
It's very true. It's so true. And really quick, in the comments, Steve Canyon, I think referring to the Russell Wilson camp, but he's bringing up a different camp. He says Russell Wilson's official football camp, June 3rd at the Air Force Academy. That's for kids. That's the official camp that he has for kids.
You gonna make it down there?
Man, I don't know. That sounds.
You don't want to drive all the way to Colorado Springs for potential 3 minutes and 30 seconds of media?
Yeah, that one.
I can take my little brother, so it's not that weird, and it's just like a little meetup. Hey, what's up?
You want to pay?
Well, like
200
media's invited. Yeah. We
Yeah.
don't worry about that.
You want to pay $200 for it?
No, he's
Yeah.
a Chiefs fan, so
Yeah.
I wouldn't even do that for him.
That's on you.
That's
That
on
is
his
on
dad
you.
and grandpa. I tried my hardest. He was a Broncos fan. They flipped him when I wasn't around.
Why are I don't want to get into your
They're
family
from,
dynamics.
they're from Kansas City. They're born and raised over there.
All right, fine.
Heck,
I guess
That's in
makes
your
sense
blood.
then.
Still your fault.
Yeah,
They're,
that is in your
they're
blood.
my
to hear.
stepdad and my step
It's
grandpa.
not
They're not
in your-
even.
It's not
they're
in your blood then.
Not in my blood.
Okay, let's hit another one here. Take
Ooh,
it
real quick.
Okay.
I was just checking for fun. Based on if Jerry did what he did the last 5 weeks of the season over the course of a whole season, that would be 15-57 with 10 touchdowns.
Sheesh.
Wouldn't
Yep.
that be nice?
That
would-
Like that's what I'm clinging to.
I would feel so vindicated finally.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, absolutely. Where
Plus-
would that rank compared to last year's receiving group?
I
Probably be
mean,
like fifth, maybe.
probably right around there.
Maybe a little higher because Cooper Kupp was injured.
That's why
But
fantasy
Justin
points
Jefferson
wise,
would have been higher.
that's career.
Tyreek Hill would have been a little higher, but I mean, it would have been
So that would have been third,
Sheesh.
I believe.
Ahead of
Wait,
Travis
it didn't
Kelce?
sort.
Also, like,
Yep.
remember we did like the
Third.
sample size thing with like Deshaun Hamilton, but it was like the last 2 games of the
yeah,
season.
yeah.
The 5-game sample size feels a little more replicable.
Fantasy wise, he was the best receiver in the league for that 5 weeks, which is a good way of putting things in perspective.
Yep. And
That's
that's
just
why
a nice blend of catches,
that's-
yards,
Yep.
touchdowns.
That's why you're leaving 1,000 on the table. Okay,
Yep.
let's get to the
Steve
next one
Canyon
here.
is pumping that academy.
He really is pumping it. You think maybe he works for us?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Ooh.
Okay, take it or leave it. Wow. Russell Wilson plays 6 more seasons in Denver with 3 playoff appearances.
Oh my God, I will take that all day.
Wow. Henry?
Wow, I gotta think.
Only 3, right?
Only 3.
So it's
Yep.
basically alternating playoffs, non-playoffs for the next 6 years.
Yep.
I'd leave it. If anybody can get hot. If you get in the playoffs, you've got a shot to win it all. Like
Yeah.
that's just the way the NFL works.
Exactly.
But like if you're a 50-50 playoff team, I just can't bet on you getting a ring. And so you might as well move on, start the next era.
This is so crazy to say that you'll leave this after the Broncos
I
didn't
won't.
make the playoffs in 16, 17, 18,
Yep.
19, 20, 21, 22. I mean, that's 7 years. If so, revisionist history, if we would have said this in 2016, you should have so easily taken it. I'm going to leave it though.
You guys are crazy.
I know.
dude.
I
You
feel
guys are
crazy, but
Yep.
I'm also thinking about this in the Sean Payton era. That's probably right around the Sean Payton era, unless he decides to stay on a little longer. And if you're going to the playoffs every other year, you're probably not winning the division any of those years, or maybe you're only doing it once.
Yeah.
So you're probably a wild card. That means you're going on the road. And certainly once you get in the playoffs, you can make a deep run. Maybe they make the Super Bowl all 3 of those seasons that they do that. But you're also leaving that to chance what happens in the playoffs. And with Russell Wilson, and I know how far Russell Wilson has dropped in the past year, and Sean Payton, if you're only making it half the time, I just think they can do better. I feel stupid saying it, but I think they can do better.
I appreciate your optimism. I just want to have fun. Just once.
That's fair.
It would be fun.
I want rings, not playoff appearances, and I don't think you're getting a ring out of that. So
There's
move
no
on.
way of telling.
But
Maybe
I
they
mean-
won the Super Bowl all 3 times, and the playoff hangover or the Super Bowl hangover was so bad they missed the playoffs next year.
I mean, there's
That'd
a
be
chance,
wild.
but that just seems unlikely.
Yeah, it
I'm not
seems
taking those odds.
A lot more likely than whatever we've got now.
But the thing is, as soon as that's over, you imagine Russ is retiring, and so then you're back where you started. So like if you don't get a ring, you might as well just try again.
Wait, what if you do it 3 years in a row? You make the playoffs.
It could be.
And then the next 3 years you don't make the playoffs.
I mean,
Would
that
change your mind?
that'd
That
be
would be the
ideal.
most.
That'd be ideal
That would make the most sense.
That's wait, why would that be ideal? I actually don't think that'd be ideal.
because that means they're really good right now, and Russ just kind of ages out, and so that last 3 years would suck. But If you're just kind of alternating, that means you're consistently like 9-10 wins probably.
I see what you're saying. I mean, we had that scenario in the past decade. Peyton Manning for 4 years, just incredible. Obviously made the playoffs for 4 straight years with Peyton, and then you saw what happened after he left, and it's just been horrific. That one, people are calling both sides crazy. Why would you take that? Why would you not take that? And so I think that shows you that kind of Broncos fans, I think these last 7 years really hurt Broncos fans.
Orange says it's not crazy, Zach. Broncos fans demand excellence. We don't applaud mediocrity like other teams.
So I think Orange is agreeing with me then.
He is.
But calling me crazy.
But how has demanding excellence worked out for the Broncos in the last 7 years?
Yeah, 100%
Just
right.
gotta keep trying. Like I'm not ready to punt.
It's just not. That's not doing anything.
You're right.
It hasn't done anything yet.
I totally see your side.
I just literally, I come from a different position sitting on this set than just being a fan. So I understand that.
Yeah.
I literally just want to see a team do a fun thing once.
It's very fair. When was it? 4 years ago? 5 years ago? The expectation, the Super Bowl or bust expectations that the Broncos had year in and year out for 3 decades went away. I mean, we are so far away from that. So this year, the expectations are nowhere close to Super Bowl or bust. It's like, can they get to the playoffs? That's a successful season. I think we'd all agree with that. That's so far away from Super Bowl or bust.
Yeah.
But I just think that should kind of be the standard with Sean Payton as your head coach every year, not every other year.
Yeah, I mean, who knows, though? That other year, they win 10 games and they don't get the wild card. Like, weird things happen. To me, I just want to have more winning post-game shows than losing post-game shows.
I want rings.
So true. You can get rings.
You can get them still.
You can get playoff banners. Probably over at our friends over at FOCO.
God.
You think they'll make
playoff banners?
No playoff banners.
No.
I don't know. With how desperate this city is for the Broncos to have a winning season, and make the playoffs.
Doesn't somebody have a playoff banner?
I don't know.
In their
The
stadium?
Rockies.
The Rockies.
The Rockies have a wild card banner.
Because
God,
they
that's
couldn't put a
embarrassing.
division banner up.
Well, it was the first one, from like 1993 or whatever. So like,
So they have a banner just from making the playoffs. And then they also have one for making the World Series, which is an NL Champs one.
That's a good one.
NL Champs
That could
one.
be a banner.
Yeah, that is good. The Broncos don't have that, thankfully. Like, they don't have, like, the AFC champions, and
they don't even have banners. They have billboards.
it's very true.
I mean, you can't really do football banners.
Yeah.
You definitely have to. Maybe they'll do something with the new scoreboard, incorporate it that way, and if they want to.
Wait, they probably had to take off the stupid Peyton Manning footnote thing to build that scoreboard.
I think it's still there, and it looks so unbelievably small now compared to how big this scoreboard is.
One day we're going to get that fixed.
Yeah, we really, really should. And check out our friends over at FOCO. If you want to get awesome things in your man cave and your house to wear on your body, they've got it all. Whether you want Broncos, Nuggets, Avs, Rockies, they've got it all. Now's the time to get in on all the Nuggets stuff as well. Maybe even wait a couple of weeks, and FOCO is going to have some championship gear for you as well. So check them out. Use that promo code DNVR for 10% off over at FOCO.
And get on over to our friends with the Colorado Golf Association if you want to get your handicap recorded. I did not knock mine down last time I played, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't raise it back up because they have some fancy formula, which is pretty cool, that I don't have to deal with that because that could have been a disastrous round.
See, I'm at the point where I want my handicap to go up.
Yeah, but mine's like a 14, so
Yeah,
I need that
room
down
for improvement there.
Exactly. I need to get that down. But that's just one of the perks that you get if you sign up for Colorado Golf Association is you do get an official handicap. You also get opportunities to play at exclusive courses like Aspen Glen Club, the Pinery, and there's 75,000 golfers who are part of the Colorado Golf Association. There's so many perks. You get a discount when you play Common Ground right over there in Aurora. And if you want to sign up, you can use the code DNVR5 at coloradogolf.org, and you'll get $5 off your membership. So get on over there, use the code DNVR5, get $5 off your membership.
All right, let's see if another take it or leave it divides us. Take it or leave it. Tom Brady comes out of retirement in week 8 and plays for the Raiders.
Why would I take this?
So you're leaving it.
Yeah.
I have a reason why you would take it.
Jimmy G's better?
Hard leave.
The reason you would take this is because Tom Brady. So you heard the stuff that happened with Jimmy Garoppolo over this weekend.
Yeah.
It came out where his contract is now void. If the Raiders want, they don't owe him any money because he didn't pass the physical with like a foot injury, right? So they could cut him at any point. Doesn't cost them anything. I think there are rumors at this point that Tom Brady just became part owner of the Raiders and that he will be the Raiders quarterback in week 1 of this season. And actually, there's odds out there. If Jimmy Garoppolo is not the starting quarterback of the Raiders in week 1, the favorite is Tom Brady. He's 2-1 to be their starting quarterback if Jimmy Garoppolo isn't the starting quarterback. So by week 8, you save half a season of the Raiders not having Tom Brady.
I don't even know how you do that. Like, you can't be allowed to be a part owner of the team that you play for.
Yeah.
Jackie Moon did it.
Jackie Moon did it. Okay.
Why can't you?
Because, like, just salary
It's a
cap
contract
purposes.
thing.
Yeah, because...
But if he bought it out of retirement.
Yeah, but
No.
I mean, there still could be, like, an under-the-table thing where it's like, well, we'll give you...
But there can be
We'll
under the
give you-
table things anywhere.
But there's rules about this. You can't be an owner and a player at the same time.
Couldn't he just put... Well, are you sure? Because when Tom Brady... When the Dolphins got in trouble and lost a draft pick for trying to pursue Tom Brady and Sean Payton, Tom was going to be a part owner in that agreement.
From everything I know, you cannot own the team and play for the team at the same time.
Yeah, I'm not...
Maybe he sells his stake
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
or something like that.
I don't know. But the fact...
this is
I mean,
swirling.
the fact that he's number 2 on DraftKings means that there's got to be some way it happens.
Right. That's...
Like, there's got to be
think as
something.
well.
So there needs to be approval by all owners for him to come back. But there's also this thing going on that says that the owners of the Raiders, Mark Davis, is saying that there's a clause that says that he can't play for the Raiders.
He cannot.
He cannot play for the Raiders.
Yeah.
Why would Mark
Interesting.
Davis be saying that?
Somebody asked him.
I think that's part of the agreements of him buying the Raiders. So there won't be any like conflict.
I'm going to leave this too. I think
yeah.
you leave anything that guarantees Tom Brady will be in your division.
Exactly. Like, the Raiders are not good. They have no chance of winning the Super Bowl. Tom Brady always has a chance of winning the Super Bowl.
Yeah, he was
Get him
pretty
out of there.
Bad last year, but
Yep, but still, I don't want to see him.
Keep him so far away from this division.
right. You don't
I'd rather
want to see
play.
him, but
I'd rather
I
play
don't know if he
Rodgers
has the
than
chance to win
Brady.
the Super Bowl.
If the Josh McDaniels and the Raiders are smart, they cut Jimmy Garoppolo, they go with whoever their backup is, and they try for Caleb Williams this year.
Sure.
They
Like
can't
they-
afford that with Josh McDaniels. But I guess what they can't afford to fire.
It's going to be
him
hard
either,
for them
so-
to compete with the Cardinals.
I completely agree. But if I'm the Raiders, that's what I'm doing. And then that would make the Broncos' life a living hell.
But they're not going to do that because they signed Jimmy in the first place, so they like really like him.
Well, and,
Yeah.
and I mean, that's
why I
also,
haven't already.
That's also Josh McDaniels' guy, but that's another reason with Tom Brady. Josh McDaniels and Tom Brady.
And Josh McDaniels also is not going to be team, let's get out of this contract.
Yeah, no, I agree.
So that's going to be a hard kind of situation.
Unless they figure out a way to get Tom, and Tom wants to go there. Because I guarantee you,
Yeah.
Jimmy or
Josh would
McDaniels,
want
yeah,
that,
Josh would want that.
Definitely.
All right, should we hit one more? Or do
Yeah.
you guys hate this?
No, this is
No,
great.
this is
Okay,
good.
let's hit one more. Take it or leave it, and let us know in the comment section what you think. Randy Gregory, 7.5 sacks.
You have to leave this, in
You
my
have to.
opinion. You need a lot more from your number one pass rusher.
Yeah, because again, like, worst case scenario, he's hurt, he doesn't do anything. Well, then you just cut him after the season, which sucks. And it means that you didn't hit your ceiling in 2023, but there's your money, you move on, you start fresh. Like 7.5 just leaves you in a weird place. We still probably move on, honestly.
The problem is your defense did not pressure the quarterback this season if you
Yeah.
get 7.5 sacks.
Yeah.
Or did not sack the quarterback. Like, the Broncos getting anywhere near their ceiling to this season needs Randy Gregory and double-digit sacks convincingly, in my opinion.
Man, and that just shows why some people think this is such a terrible signing when they did it, because 7.5 sacks would be a career high. And if
Yeah.
you sign a guy and you're not satisfied with a career high, then what are you doing? And I agree that
Well, when you signed him, you had Bradley Chubb.
yeah.
Now you don't. So
Yep.
things have changed quite a bit. Last year, if Bradley Chubb goes for 12.5 sacks and Randy Gregory goes for 7.5, that's something that you could be happy about.
But it's not like Bradley Chubb suffered a career-ending injury. You decided to sign Randy Gregory. You decided to trade Bradley Chubb. You decided that Randy Gregory was going to be your number one this year.
Yes.
Man, his career high happened 2 years ago. Well, he's actually done it twice, 6 sacks. That's just, I haven't thought about it this way, but that shows you how tough the contract is. When a career high, you'd be like, man, that's still disappointing.
It would be a terrible season.
In fact, this year, 7.5 sacks would give him almost half of his career sacks so far. He has 18.5 career sacks.
Bad signing, I guess.
And then what's even scarier is that you take Zach Allen's career high. Only season that's better than Draymond Jones is Draymond's rookie season.
Yeah, I mean, he does a lot more.
Yeah,
He does,
different
definitely.
position.
But when we're talking about pass rush, like,
Right, now
That's
you're
what
counting
you
on
got.
Baron Browning.
And also,
What's his career high?
I think all. Do you have 5 last year?
Yeah.
7.5 sacks for Randy Gregory would be 5.5 more than last year.
Yep.
So you're leaving it.
5
Are
last year
you
for Barron.
comfortable that he's going to do more than that?
No.
No.
Yeah,
no.
If they're going to be good, he's got to be better than that.
Yep.
It's fair. That's very fair.
And if not, then you're just moving on after this year, and it is what it is.
Yep.
I will say, you know, this is the plight of free agency. What did Chandler Jones do last year?
Probably nothing.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I remember he had like 0 sacks in week 9.
Yep. And Vaughn, what did he do as well?
He got hurt.
He got hurt near the very end of the season, though.
The point being, searching for pass rush in free agency, not necessarily a bountiful search.
Pretty much with any
Because you keep him.
any player that's a free agent, for the most part, there are, like, the 49ers really couldn't afford Mike McGlinchey. They have so many good players on their team. They could have chose him, but then they wouldn't have been able to sign Nick Bosa. So the Broncos were able to get Mike McGlinchey because the 49ers thought Nick Bosa was better. That's the truth. But a lot of guys, why they're on the free agent market is because their teams don't view them as they're going to get paid.
Right, which is so crazy about, like, Shaq Barrett just hitting the open market, getting 1 year, $5 million, and putting up 20 sacks.
Insane. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, especially the same year that the Broncos, right after they draft Bradley Chubb.
Yep.
Like, they had that there.
Yep.
They could have got Josh Allen and kept Shaq Barrett.
Ugh.
Their revisionist history is crazy.
Yep.
Vaughn had
tough.
8 and 11 games.
That's
So there you
pretty
go.
good.
Way better.
Yep.
And you know what else is just amazing? Is our friends over at Breckenridge Brewery. Way better than the competition. And they have so many different types of beers. And really, you could have a different beer for every part of today. Right now, it's a little warm. You could start with a Fun Slinger. It could get your day really started going. And then afternoon, it's going to be hot at 2 p.m. So then you just go to Strawberry Sky. But then we got some thunderstorms coming in. It's going to make it a little cold. So you go for a little Vanilla Porter Jr. To celebrate the Nuggets. And then cap off tonight when it's just the right temperature with a little Broncos Country Ale. Breckenridge Beer has it all. And we're going to have all the Breckenridge beer flowing tomorrow night. We got it flowing every night with happy hour, but tomorrow night, Nuggets game, this place is going to be popping. So check out Breckenridge Brewery. Come down to the bar and go to breckbrew.com to find your closest Breckenridge beer to have. If you're not able to watch the game here, you want Breck at your house.
Man, my body clock is telling me that it's Tuesday.
Yep.
So then every time someone says Nuggets game tomorrow, my heart skips a beat.
Yeah.
I'm like, damn, oh my God, I can't believe it's already here.
Tonight, are you going to dream about missing the game like you slept through the game?
No, I don't have that type of anxiety.
Okay.
You would think it would be the other way around. Like, people who are normally on time to things wouldn't have dreams about being late for things. But it's probably the fact that you care so much about being on time for things that makes you dream about missing them.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
Also, a shout out to our friends Backus and Shanker. If you get hurt and it's not your fault, Backus and Shanker will take care of you and win you a lawsuit so that you can get yourself back on track, get your mind right, get your body right, get your life right with Backus and Shanker. And the best part about Backus and Shanker is you're not going to be giantly in the hole because you got hurt and now you're missing work, and now you have all these lawyer fees because they aren't going to make you pay them a dime until they win you your case. So call it Backus and Shanker, smash the 222-2222 to call up Backus and Shanker if you get hurt and it's not your fault.
All right. Should we talk to the people? Getting
Let's
some
do it.
comments.
We did, real quick, just got some contract details from Mike Kliss.
We did.
So Kareem, 2.66, which we knew, but I think that's just the vet min for him. So it'll count as the vet min against the cap, but only 152,000 guaranteed.
Oh.
So that means, obviously, whatever.
It means he has to make the team.
He needs to make the team.
Yeah, and also with that, I asked Sean Payton about bringing him back. There were no guarantees about Kareem being a starter, and just given his role.
Yep.
And then also Cam Fleming, 1 year, $2.1 million deal, 850,000 guaranteed. That's a decent chunk. And then there's it can get up to $4 million is the initial reports, and that's based on the per game roster bonuses.
Really quick.
some other
On the
stuff.
Randy Gregory, take it or leave it. One commenter, X23, said, take it. That means he's healthy. Another commenter, Big E Bronco, said, leave it. That means he got injured.
He played in 5 games last year, I think, and had 2 sacks in those 5 games. So if he gets 7.5 sacks, according to last year's numbers, that
pace.
means he played, pretty much every game.
And he played the same that he was, which was actually
Yep.
really impactful. So,
Which probably comes with 2 forced
maybe I should
fumbles.
take it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was awesome when he was on the field.
I know, he's very disruptive.
And that's,
Like every play, you're just like, oh, there's Randy. What's he doing? Like, he catches your eye.
it's kind of just been Randy Gregory throughout his career, though. I mean,
Yeah.
the Broncos should not be disappointed with what happened last year with Randy Gregory. They shouldn't be surprised, is what I should say. They can be disappointed, but they shouldn't be surprised at all.
Stop giving big money to injury guys.
Yes.
But the good news is they built that contract so they can get out after 2 years.
Yep.
Yeah.
And if he hits, then they've got him cheap, really cheap for an edge rusher for 5.
The bad news is the way that you've managed your roster means that not only are you counting on him to, live up to that contract, you're counting on him to be your number 1 pass rusher this year.
And that's where if you had a number 1, which, I mean, I don't know. Moving on, they got a first for Bradley Chubb. That's insane.
They turned it into Sean Payton.
Like, yeah, turning Bradley Chubb into a first is an absolute steal. Like, he is not that good. He's the second best edge rusher in Miami. So you had to do that. But if you did have a true number 1, it'd be great to have Randy Gregory. If you had Von Miller on the other side as a speed rusher, you have Randy just collapsing the pocket. That'd be perfect.
Yeah, that'd be sick.
Yeah, it'd be very cool. And Alex says, leave it. Randy Gregory can have 7.5 sacks in 2 games. That would be insane.
He's never come close.
How many times has that happened in NFL history? Where in 2 games, like back-to-back games, someone has 7.5 sacks.
Well, total.
Yes. Chandler Jones?
I mean, someone had 5 in a game,
That
right?
was Chandler Jones.
So did he have 2.5 the next game? That would be monstrous.
He might have had 3 the next game. It was some crazy stretch. Because then remember the rest of the season, he had 1
Did
sack.
nothing, yeah.
Because then that was right before last year when he signed with the Raiders.
Yep.
And so you look at his numbers from the year before and you're like, damn, Chandler Jones was really good. The Broncos should go after him. And then you look and you're like, oh, he had an incredible 2 or 3 game stretch to start the season.
So Randy's never had more than 2 sacks in a game. He's had 2 3 times.
Do you have the Chandler Jones numbers from 2021? The first couple weeks of that season? Because those were insane.
Did he have 5 in week 1?
Yeah, I think so. It was
my
week
God.
1. I wonder who it was against, too.
Damn. Strez brings up a name here, and it's just sad to me that it hasn't been said once in this conversation. Nick Bonito.
Yep. And now I know he wasn't the Broncos' first round pick, but the first pick in the draft, a top 50 pick,
Yep.
right? And he didn't do anything last year. You just hope that he's able to turn it around this year because that would be a huge bonus for the Broncos.
So he had 5 in week 1, didn't have another till week 9.
Wow. Okay.
Most notable thing Nick Bonito has done as a Bronco is tweet about the Lakers.
Damn. Yep. Has he
So
been quiet,
far.
I imagine, past week?
He actually is sending pro Nuggets tweets now.
Oh, smart. Smart.
I think he
Yep.
said like all the Heat fans are crazy, Nuggets in 5 or something like that.
I've got a couple of texts from Celtics fans saying we're on your side now.
Wow.
So they just must have hated the Heat or something.
That makes
Cool,
sense.
have fun, guys.
You think Lakers fans are pulling for the Heat?
Oh, they're probably still crying.
Yeah.
They probably couldn't see through the tears who's going to be in this game
Yeah, I
series.
don't care.
Yeah, you really don't care.
They also, so what? Yannick Ngakwe's still out there. Justin Houston's still out there. I thought there was, Leonard Floyd, another guy who's just a lock for 8 sacks, is still out there.
Get Ngakwe in here.
He's probably most expensive of those guys.
I don't care.
That outside linebacker group is just like they have too many parts that they feel kind of stuck with for at least one more year.
Yeah. And this is one of those scenarios where it's like the sum is less than the parts.
Big time. Yep.
Each part, you're like,
Yeah.
Jonathan Cooper.
Yeah. I mean, even Baron Browning. I mean, his potential, what he showed in flashes, has been great. And Jay Day says Baron Browning's loading for a 10-sack season. That could absolutely happen.
Awesome.
He was also injured last year, and can he be a full-time outside linebacker pass rusher? We've never seen that before, so it's kind of hard to just stamp that down that it's going to happen.
Yep.
All right, comments on the website. First one from The Count says, how hot is Russ's seat? Would a 2-2 start with mediocre performance force the visor to insert the backup bean chucker, or does Mr. Dangerous have a longer leash than that? Love The Count.
4 weeks.
2-2, that would be a disappointing 2-2 as well. Just the way the schedule goes. They're sticking with Russ after that.
Yeah.
Yes. 1 and 3.
Oh, I think not a guarantee at all.
Yes, that's why I said you get 4 weeks. 2 and 2 is like you're okay. Let's keep trying.
Kind of sucks, but you go with it.
1 and 3 is like, oh well, all right, pull the plug.
Caleb Williams.
It's at least a conversation.
You thinking Caleb Williams at that point?
You should be.
Yeah.
You're not.
If your one win is against the Bears, the Commanders at home,
Yeah.
you lose to the Raiders.
Yep.
Yikes. Yeah. Especially, what if you start 1-0, then lose the next 3, and then the Broncos' next 6 games is what it is? You could legitimately be saying Broncos are going to be 1-9 after 10 weeks. Oh boy.
Whatever. It's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Oh man. That whatever just felt like such a Rockies comment.
No, I just mean all of this could happen. We'll just see what happens.
Rockies are terrible. Rockies have the Nebraska Day.
Yeah, they've been doing that for years.
Yeah.
And they're still doing it, huh?
And it's just like, oh, yeah.
People haven't gotten
hate
mad
them.
enough yet. I tried to, drum up a lot of rage when it first happened, and there was too much apathy on both sides,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was that when they were good?
The Rockies?
Yeah.
I mean, maybe 2018-ish.
Yeah.
They were so good back then. That was so fun.
They were so good they never got out of the first round of the playoffs.
Well, but only 5 teams get in. 4 teams, I guess, after the wild card.
Man, to bring joy when I think of the Rockies, you just think about Rocktober.
It's pretty much the only time it's ever been that fun to be a Rockies fan.
Yep, it's very true. And last comment of the day coming in from our friend Nash Bronco says, regarding the one gotta go conversation yesterday, who of you guys has seen the Star Wars movies? I assume Zach has, since he's directly quoting them. Laughing, crying face. For me, it's video games. I really enjoy them, but I simply don't have time to invest anymore. TVs and movies can be paused when needed to do life stuff.
So can video games.
Not if you're playing against someone else.
Well, yeah, but that's a kind of a niche scenario.
Planning time. Yeah, that's true. I guess the movies and TV shows you can watch with other people.
Yes.
Like you can spend your couple time doing those. Video games is probably a lot more difficult.
Yeah, there's definitely some gamer couples out there.
Yeah.
But it's definitely more rare.
Moth.
Oh, everyone saw that. It went right in front of the camera.
Oh, really?
Did it look like a massive dinosaur bird?
Giant birds just flying right at them. For me, video game time is when either the house is empty or Allie's already asleep is when I get most of my gaming in.
So it's your personal time.
Yep,
That's just
exactly.
what you do.
Speaking of, Henry, did you see in the Madden chat, I guaranteed you have no shot to win tonight?
Against Will?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I said Patriots minus 24.5.
Jeez. Why?
What is that money line?
He's not.
I'll take
he clearly doesn't understand why.
Because I'm
You
bad?
can't do it. I just don't believe in you.
I can beat Will. I can beat anybody in that league.
It's working.
Is it working? Oh, we'll see at 6.
You guys
Yep.
want to bet on it?
We'll see.
24.5? Henry's got to cover 24.5?
I mean, I'm cheering for him.
Yeah.
You're cheering for the massive upset?
Yeah. Gigantic upset.
It's not that big of an upset.
Prove
Not
it.
that big.
You guys just have to prove it.
Is Henry even going to respond to Will?
What do you mean?
Is Henry even going to play?
Yeah, I'm going to play.
Oh.
Yeah.
You cannot be throwing any stones about not playing
Yeah.
games.
What are you talking about? I've played so many.
So many. Like, what, half?
No. I played more than half. I think I've only simmed like 3 games.
All right.
Yeah.
I sim 3, and that's 2 were from Wyoming.
Fair.
I'll probably have to sim next week.
I got beat. I think I was down 62-0 in the fourth quarter yesterday. I scored 14 points in the game.
All right, there you go. That's a high note. That's like birdieing the 18th hole after you shot 104.
Yep.
Good point there. We didn't answer the question.
What was the question?
I guess
That's a hilarious
will slim
comment.
down Russell Wilson benefit the Denver Broncos under Sean Payton? I guess kind of did.
Oh, no, I think he means the question that was just asked.
Who of you guys have seen Star Wars movies?
Oh, that
I
question.
am fairly confident I've seen at least 90% of them.
So that's exactly where I am. I've absolutely seen Star Wars movies. Not sure how many I've seen.
How many new ones are there?
I don't know. That's where I'm not doing well with the new ones.
It's just so confusing.
So I've seen all the originals.
Yep.
And then like it was prime of our childhood when like the bad new ones started coming out.
Yeah.
I like
So we
those.
saw, of course, because you were a kid. That's who they're for. But like, like the Darth Maul, Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
I saw that one or those ones.
Yeah.
Not sure how many there were.
Yep. There were 3. And that's why
I saw the one with the girl that everyone loved, Rey.
Yep.
Oh, Princess Leia is who I was going to guess.
Oh no,
Wow.
that's the originals.
People did like her.
I think there's
Yeah.
a more recent one that I haven't seen.
yeah.
Yeah, you know more than I do.
I think I've only seen 1 or maybe 2 of the new ones, but I'm not sure. But I do know. So I don't know. It's probably like every 6 months or so, I get the urge to watch all of them. It's like, this would be like a good thing to do. But I always start with the first one, and then I watch it, and I'm like, okay, good, we made it through. And then I get like, I'll start the second one. But now I've seen those ones just so many times, I just get bored at that point. Meanwhile, there's others I've seen like once, and so I just need to like casually watch a Star Wars movie that isn't just like in order, Just kind of pick one in the middle and enjoy it.
I have such a hard time. People are gonna hate this take. I have such a hard time with like old special effects.
Yeah, they're very different.
Yeah, and I'm just like,
So what about watching old film, like old football film?
there's no special effects there.
But they're not as fast. They're not as
I
strong.
know. Well,
they're not as powerful.
we got in trouble for this one.
It's true, but it's true.
Yeah.
Just
I said like
humans have evolved.
Emmanuel Sanders would easily be the best receiver ever if he played in
boy.
1960.
Oh boy.
I do not disagree with that still.
I don't know if I said ever, but he would be the best on the field then.
He'd be the best receiver in the game.
I think so. People hate that one. I don't know why I brought it back up.
Could you imagine Calvin Johnson back then?
Oh my God.
Insane.
And honestly, he probably wouldn't be able to play wide receiver.
Yeah.
You would just make him a running back.
be left tackle at 6'5".
No, you would just make him a running back because you just have to give him the ball as much as you possibly
Yeah,
can.
it's really true. It's really true.
Huh.
It's wild.
This whole conversation was what led to us watching, or me, I don't know if you ever watched it, Idiocracy.
Right. Yeah.
Someone was like, just wait until you're in your 50s and someone is telling you that Beef Supreme would be the best running back of all time.
But see, that'll happen.
Yep, I'm sure it will.
I don't know.
Although humans keep evolving beyond the limits of our joints and bones and stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much more athletic we can keep getting.
Just like the coaching. Like if you just take Emmanuel Sanders now, like they've had like 60 years to figure out what to do and what not to do.
That's a good
Like
point.
you drop him back there. But the thing is, like, would they even know what to do with him? Because like I'm not even sure. Because like the real offensive revolution stuff was like in the early 70s. And so like the 60s, like I don't even know what kind of offense. Like that's Packer sweep.
Now you're just calling people dumb at that point.
Well,
Now
no,
you're
it's
calling
just-
people in the
they
60s
just-
dumb for not
Well,
knowing
they
what
They
to
hadn't
do.
learned it yet.
experimented enough.
That's
yet.
like in the
a fair
60s.
point.
I don't know. What were some other crazy things? Like what we know about dinosaurs in the 60s. We knew they existed. We've known that since like the
So
early
Stress,
1900s.
really quick, Stress says there's 5 new movies. That means we're adding that to the original trilogy, right?
No
So that would
idea.
mean 8 total movies.
Yeah.
I guess I said I've seen at least 90% of them, which isn't possible. You've either seen, like,
You've seen them all or you haven't?
I'm very confident I've seen 7.
3 new shows too. Have you been a fan of the shows?
I haven't even seen
Yeah.
1 second.
I haven't either. I think there's a new one even coming out. So yeah, that's our extent of Star Wars.
Very profitable well that they keep going back to.
Yep, it is very true. You know who has seen them all?
Who?
Nathaniel Hackett.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
not a trick question or anything.
Yes. I was
Yeah.
going to say Mace.
No, that's also very true.
I found it. So in 1964, they figured out that there was a carnivorous dinosaur.
Wow.
What?
Yeah. But the point is, like, that doesn't mean they're dumb for just finding that out then. That's just what they had found out at that point. You know, it doesn't mean like
Same here. They figured out you could throw a football for it.
exactly like that doesn't make them dumb. It just means that I don't know.
Figured it
I
out.
might not have, I would never have figured out any of this stuff if I was back then,
Yeah,
you know?
it's true. It's very true.
I did invent the RRPPO. It just hasn't been
That's
really
very
used.
true. Yep.
Emmanuel Sanders might be like the greatest coach of the 1960s. It's
very
It's
true.
like, bro, look at this playbook.
He shows up and he's like, no, guys. Throw it to me.
With my foot? Do I kick it?
Yeah, and then he's like installing the playbook.
What's a throw?
Oh,
No, you have
gosh.
to spin it like this so it flies normal.
Original trilogy, prequel trilogy, sequel trilogy. So that sounds like 9 to me.
So
And
confusing.
plus the standalone. So there's the 2 standalone. So that must be like the Han
I
Solo one.
I have seen at least one of those.
Okay. But see, my thing is like, I don't want to just jump into those. It's like, oh, if I'm going to do this, I want to really do this. And so I start from the freaking beginning and I get through like 2 movies and it's like, dear God, I've seen these movies so many freaking
But the beginning
times.
is also like in the middle, then the beginning changes.
That's true.
So why don't you start with those?
I could justify it
Yeah.
that way, but then I still have
And
a
then it's
feeling
a way to start in the middle, but also the beginning.
So are you trying to do all this in one day?
So
month?
that's the other thing though, is like, so you
There's
watch
not
one
even
of the
enough
movies.
hours in the day to watch all of
No,
them.
but
No.
you watch one of the movies, and then a few days later, you're like, oh, look, I have time to watch a movie. So you do it, and then a few days later, you're like, oh, look, I have time again. It's like, maybe I'll just play a little Call of Duty.
You're right.
And then
right,
it's
and
done.
Then it fades.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
gone.
Do you have the DVD set of them?
I have them, we bought them through Apple. So I just have the,
Okay.
I'm
So not-
Disney Plus
not old
also has
school.
all of them.
well, yeah, but I did this is like 15 years ago.
I would be much
yeah, you
more
didn't
likely
like
to
that.
watch
No, he didn't.
the Harry Potter films if I was going to go on like a big
I agree.
marathon.
Totally
Those-
agree.
And those ones are just tough, because I always get the urge, but then I forget.
He always
Actually,
gets the urge.
yeah, Harry
Big
Potter
Fangio.
gives me the
Big
urge.
Fangio had a quote about that.
But so what I did recently, I don't even know when that was. It was during the off season at some point. I decided to read the books because I always forget I never really liked the movies, but I just really liked the books. But then like it's like I'm never gonna go back and read the book, so I just watch a movie and it's like, oh, this is disappointing.
What's it like to like a book?
Yeah.
just I mean,
Sounds cool.
yeah.
I'm
you
not
just-
even roasting
just-
you, I'm
just
jealous.
read
Yeah,
the book.
Yeah.
Like think about watching a TV show, except it's just better.
Ooh, that is tough. We're on a
Except
two.
you just read the same page over and over again.
Well, you gotta be smart enough to read a book.
Yeah, I know.
But
I'm not.
We're on a 2-day streak of talking about reading books. That has
Yeah.
never happened in the history of this podcast.
Definitely not.
No,
Reading playbooks.
maybe.
That's true.
Yeah, maybe.
Oh,
Will we make it 3 tomorrow?
I bet we could download. I bet somebody has one of Vince Lombardi's playbooks.
We
I'll
can
find
read
that.
it.
I don't know if we'll download that. You got to go to like the National Archives.
Oh no, there's websites out there. You can get some
There's
playbooks you wouldn't think
websites
would be
out
out
I
there.
found like Bill McCartney's playbook one.
Oh
time.
yeah, I bet you could find like Kyle Shanahan's playbook from like 4 years ago,
Wow.
which you'd think wouldn't be out there, but I mean they're out there.
Yeah, Strez says
there's
he's a
a hard
nerd.
copy.
No, Strez, you're just helping us out here, making us
For sure.
smarter.
There's a lot of people who like Star Wars.
Oh,
Yeah.
tons of people. There's a reason it's such a moneymaker.
They're
Yep.
great movies. It's just the point about the Harry Potter movies, they're meant for kids. But only for like the first couple, because then like by the end they're like, oh shit, they're like just killing
adults
people
really
left and
like
right,
this.
Right.
You know, and so it's but like when you start making the movies, those books hadn't been written yet, and so it's like, oh, this is just gonna be like a nice little PG thing. So then you go back and watch, it's like, well, now I'm just watching a movie for children, and then it just doesn't fit.
Yeah.
I found the 1967 playbook.
All right. Any more questions?
That's it.
Any super chats? All right. We're going to wrap there. Appreciate you all for tuning in. We'll catch you tomorrow.